Hi guys, today I want to answer to a common question that I get on my channel, which is can I improve the speed, power and control for my finger motion. And so I want to share with you 3 tips that have been key for me to develop my own finger technique. So the first thing that I do usually, especially for technique, is I understand how my body works even without getting into the thing that I have to do, like literally just analyzing my body motions depending on what I'm doing, in this case fingers. And as I move the finger, as I emulate and simulate the motion that I have to do, I already understand how there's a different range of motion, there's different possibilities and different qualities in my finger motion, which would basically, it's the first one is the very tip of my fingers have way more possibility of moving compared to the lower part of my fingers, which of course are more in contact, like are more close to the hand, so less agility in the motion. But of course, the more I go in the tip of the stick, when I translate the tip of the finger, when I translate it on the drums with the sticks, the more I have the stick in the upper part of my hand and on my finger, the less control and the less power I have. And so I always try to hold the stick and position the stick, let's say around the middle top, basically, so not the first, not the second, but more closer to the third junction of the fingers. And then depending on the speed, if I don't need a lot of speed but I want a little bit more power, I hold it more in the second junction of my fingers, because it gives me a little bit more, I have the stick more in my hand and I use let's say a stronger part of the finger. It's not so weak as the very top. So this is the first thing that I do, is understanding. Also, once I analyze my body and I try different solutions to put the stick in one place or the other in my hand, I already start to understand the differences, right? And so I never use only one solution for all the situations that I'm in. I always try to, based on what I'm doing and the needs and the surface that I'm playing on, the dynamics, the speed, whatever it is, to use one or the other part. So this also starts to define my practicing sessions, right? So it's finger technique. It's not only always one exercise in one way forever, but I try to do maybe the same exercise in different positions, so I develop different positions and motions, and every time then that you change something, you discover other things. So that's another very important thing. And it's all kind of like, it all starts from literally analyzing myself and looking for information in myself and not only on YouTube. So this is I would say this is the first tip that includes several things, but first tip would be, so you sit down, you start to understand how your hand work, and then what it means to hold the stick in one place or the other. And then from there, the second tip is to understand actually the mechanics of what it means to speed up, what it means to literally take advantage of external forces. So if I want to speed up, I want more power, I want more endurance, it means that I have to do less fatigue, less effort in what I'm doing, because if I put a lot of effort in the motions, I might have a lot of power but I get tired soon and all that stuff. So we want to avoid that. What it means to take advantage of the rebound here, which is the external force that will help us, is actually to work on opening the hand and letting the stick bounce as much as possible, rather than working on the closing part, right? So what I mean is literally my focus here is to go from here to opening the focus of the motion rather than closing, because closing would choke. For me, it chokes the momentum, the rebound, literally chokes the rebound. So instead, if I found a place where I can maintain like this opening motion as much as possible, that helps me to take advantage of the rebound rather than choking it or putting a lot of effort into it. But it's a nice middle place because I have a constant motion. My motion is not too wide, so I don't have to do too much effort. It's a very defined motion, and so it has consistency. I don't get tired. I have a good dynamic, a good power, and then the more, of course, you warm up, the better it gets. So once we know how to hold the stick and how to develop the motion to take advantage of external forces, we have to work on, first of all, building a comfort zone, building a speed and dynamic that it's comfortable, where everything works and we are in perfect control of what's happening. Once we have this and we feel effortless, we feel we can go on for minutes, both ends, right and left. We're like, okay, we understand the thumb roll, which is of a lever. We understand what's more comfortable for us, if it's to hold the stick more on the top of the fingers or more in our hands. And so, as you can see, we could keep it going. This means that we have a speed and a dynamic where everything works. Okay, so we are 100%, this is 100% working. So what we have to do from here is just slowly starting working with the click and slowly building the speed. Okay, so it means that we are just speeding up this motion that it's already working. Whenever we hit a point where it starts to become too hard, like too fast, and we can't break that wall, we have to go back and start to analyze what changes. And we will start noticing like the thumb, it's getting more stiff, or I don't know, we have tension somewhere, and blah blah blah. So we start looking again for information inside our body to work around the problem and fix whatever is the problem, whatever is changing from when everything was working perfectly. And so we look for information in ourselves, as we do on YouTube. And so once we get there, we go back and forth in the speed. So we stop the BPM, we stop the click, and we start going from comfort zone, outside of the comfort zone, to our limit, and then back to the comfort zone, and we analyze what's changing. Okay, the only way you can speed up is to keep control, especially of the dynamics. So here I'm not giving 100%, I could give more. Okay, I could also start involving the wrist at this speed, but it's not the goal. My goal is to have control of this motion and then speeding it up, especially when I do like very fast drum parts and I know it's gonna be like 16 bars or long periods of parts in my songs. I use a dynamic which is not exaggeratedly lower than the other dynamics, but it's kind of like saving energy, controlling and saving energy for that part so that I can have consistency. I'd rather have an hour and a half of having a decent dynamics and sound level, which is pretty even, than having a very loud start of the show and then consuming all my energy and spend the 3/4 of the show struggling because I have no energy left. So controlling this motion, and so not giving always 100% at each speed that we're playing, but keeping saving energy while we're doing this is essential to speed up, especially with the very weak parts of our body like the fingers that don't have a lot of support, physical support in them. And I see a lot of you guys leaving comments under my videos and saying that my content is helping you out. I'm super happy about that. I wish I could do more, and I would have so many other things to talk, and I come up with things every day during my practicing. Of course, the more my pages will grow, the more my YouTube channel will get subscribers, comments, views, and all that stuff, the more I will be able to give back to you guys, and share even more information and content, which I will be super happy to do it. So if you feel like putting like subscribing or sharing my content, my stuff with people that you think might be interested in my stuff, it will be great, so that I can give you back even more. If not, I still hope that my videos are helping you out. That's my final ultimate goal, is to share with you and help you out, share things that have been important for me with you. And so I'll see you in the next videos.